I've just watched the 4th episode of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, so here's my thoughts on episode 4. I thought this episode was a really interesting episode as it dealt with the age gap between Georgie and Mandy. And in this episode we see Georgie and Mandy make new friends. Mandy makes friends with her co-worker Beth. Once she's friends with Beth, then Mandy and Georgie are invited over to her house for an evening. And on that evening it happens that Beth's son is actually someone Georgie went to school with. So Georgie naturally gets talking to him and they become friends over a motorbike, as you do because motorbikes are pretty cool. So then the rest of the story happens. Mandy goes on another night out with Beth, and then Georgie goes out with Beth's son and his friends on a dirt bike racing day. And in the end, they both realise that it isn't as fun without the other, and Georgie doesn't really like hanging out with people his own age as he's so much different because he's now a dad, and they don't see him as their own age as they call him
Mr. Cooper.
It's Georgie. It's just Georgie.
And then Mandy realises it isn't fun and she wants to be back with the baby when Beth is just getting off with her dentist. So I thought that was a really interesting story to see, and it shows that Mandy and Georgie kind of want to just spend time together and want to be with their baby. I also thought the episode showed that Georgie is becoming a really good dad. The other story going on in this episode we got to see was Connor playing 20 questions with Jim and Audrey, which I thought was really good as it brought out a bit of a funnier side to Connor with some of the way he answered the questions, and it showed us the competitive side of Jim and Audrey. And I've got to say, Audrey, again, she has really grown on me as a character. As this series has gone on, I'm liking her more and more, and she brought out some very funny lines. So I thought that was a really nice subplot that we got to see, and I thought it was really funny. Overall, I thought this was probably the best episode we've seen so far, I would happen to say. I really enjoyed it. But what did you guys think of this episode, and what have you thought of the series so far? Let me know in the comments.